Good evening, everyone. This is your evening news recap, your nightly news podcast on all the news that I come across throughout the day, giving you my take as somebody who aspires to be a politician in the near future. Hopefully, all you guys are doing wonderful. Hopefully, all you guys are doing well. Today is October 4th, and it is Saturday, I believe, right? Yeah, it's Saturday. Hopefully, all you guys are having a wonderful weekend so far. It's definitely been, a very interesting week over the past week. And it's definitely been a very interesting day in the news world. Hopefully all you guys are getting the relaxation you need and all of that from whatever you do within the work week, whether that be school, whether that be work, whatever it is. Hopefully you're getting all the relaxation you need. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing. We're on our way to 500 subscribers, and all the support would be greatly appreciated as we are trying to hit that goal by the end of the year. I think we can do it. We're getting pretty close. We're making a lot of progress. We already passed 360. So let's get it. If you're new here, please subscribe. All the support would be greatly appreciated. And if you're on Substack, please also consider subscribing. All funds go to me. That may pay for the things that I need to pay for in college, like food, like clothing, like all of that. But if not, you can always subscribe for free. I truly do appreciate all forms of support on this content. And with that being said, hopefully all you guys are doing well, and let's get into the news from today. The bulk of our news comes from the Trump administration today, as they have been pretty busy today. The first topic we have is Trump has ordered the military to conduct arrests. Trump has ordered ICE, Border Patrol, law enforcement, and the U.S. military to arrest anyone who burns an American flag. In a post on True Social, he wrote, "To ICE, Border Patrol, law enforcement, and all U.S. military, per my August 2025 executive order, please be advised from this point forward, anyone burning the American flag will be subject to 1 year in prison. You will immediately be arrested. Thank you for your attention to this matter." This is highly illegal and something Trump does not have the authority to do. The military is not allowed to assist in law enforcement or arrest people, and Americans are allowed to burn the flag as much as they want for a variety of reasons, whether it be disposing of an old flag, whether it be self expression. There are so many reasons why the American people are allowed to burn American flags. The president cannot stop people from doing that. It is an illegal order that should not be acted on in any way, shape, or form. And also remember, folks, if you don't want to burn your flag, feel free to hang it upside down. It holds a similar meaning, if not, somewhat similar. In other news, federal workers are suing Trump's education officials for changing nonpartisan out of office messages. A federal workers union has filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration for altering the U.S. Department of Education's employees' out of office emails against their knowledge, making them include partisan language about the government shutdown. A fe- uh, the American Federation of Government Employees accused the administration of going to unprecedented lengths to use government infrastructure to shift the public debate in its favor, a huge violation of the Hatch Act. The emails read, "Thank you for contacting me. On September 10th, 2025, the House of Representatives passed the H.R. 5371, a clean continuing resolution. Unfortunately, Democratic senators are blocking a passage of an H.R. 5371 in the Senate, which has led to a lapse in appropriations. Due to the lapse of appropriations, I am currently in a furlough state, and I will respond to emails once the government functions resume." Let's keep in mind once again that Democrats are standing firm to help you, the American people. This administration and the GOP knows they are in the wrong here. The goal of the Democrats is to help Americans with their health care. It's been the goal this entire time, yet the Republicans refuse to do so. Why? Because they care more about putting money in their own pockets and the rich healthcare CEOs and all the other rich people around them. I want to remind everyone, I am an independent. I have complained for months now about the Democrats doing jack shit throughout this entire administration. You can go through all my videos and you can definitely find that. There are multiple occasions where I've shat on the Democrats. Don't support either side. I think both sides are equally terrible, but Republicans aren't on a hot streak right now, and they are doing a lot of terrible shit. Um, you know, the reason they are currently getting my support is because they are actively doing something for once, something they don't do. Most of the time, they sit around and pretend to do things, but this time, something is actually being done to take a stand against the current administration and to actually help the American people, and that needs to be recognized. It will be a while before we can actually bring significant change to this country. It will be a while before we can actually get people who will represent the people in this country. I myself want to do that in a few years. But if the one party who isn't actively pushing to destroy our country is attempting to benefit the people, which the Democrats are doing right now, I believe that it should be supported 100%. In other news, the Trump administration previously considered sending highly specialized military units to Portland. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth considered deploying elite military units to Portland, Oregon. Last week, officials discussed potentially deploying the Army's 82nd Airborne Division, a division historically sent in both World Wars, Vietnam and Afghanistan. Ultimately, they decided to send National Guard troops, likely due to possible legal challenges under federal restrictions. From all the pictures and the videos I've seen of the National Guard in Portland, they are once again not doing shit. Where is Doge when you need them? Because this is very clearly a waste of taxpayer dollars and government resources. Just like in LA and in DC, they are sitting around doing nothing. I mean, in DC, they had them picking up trash. All of it is intimidation tactics that don't even need to be taking place, in all honesty. Portland crime rates are at an all time low. Not to mention, I personally was in the city during the George Floyd era. I've been to Oregon on multiple occasions, a lot in my life. It's one of my favorite states. I would love to live there one day. At the time, I was staying there for a month with some family, and it wasn't even bad. I've been to Portland so many times, genuinely so many times, and it has never been as bad as people claim it to be. Portland has never really been an extremely crime ridden city, and I've been to some of the bad parts. It's not that bad. It looks like every other city in this country. Sure, you're going to find some needles on the ground. That is every other ghetto area of literally every city in this country. It is just like the rest of them. There is no difference. I have been to multiple cities throughout this country, and I've been to Portland probably one of the most times out of a majority of those cities, and I can promise you that it is just as bad as every other city in this country. Like there is no difference. They're not having it worse than the rest of us. Keep in mind, I also mentioned I went during the George Floyd times where you saw a lot of protests, during COVID as well. As there was a lot of people breaking into buildings and all of that. And even that wasn't as common as the media presented it to be. Genuinely, I think I saw that like once, and I was there for a month's time. Uh, like I will have you know, I was able to walk around Portland, play Pokemon Go perfectly fine, not an issue in the world. It is not as bad as people claim it to be. There are no issues at all there. I have gone there multiple times. I have walked around the city multiple times by myself on multiple occasions, and I've been completely fine. It is not as bad as people claim it to be. Genuinely. In other news, Trump has given an ultimatum to Chicago. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker has announced, despite rejections of the National Guard, the Trump administration will be sending 300 troops to Chicago as tensions rise between local leaders and the federal government. Pritzker said on social media the Trump administration gave him an ultimatum saying, "Call in your troops or we will," which is what the administration is now doing. The governor said in the coming hours the Trump administration intends to federalize 300 members of the Illinois National Guard. Sending troops into Chicago against the will of the state is illegal, just as it is in LA, just as it is in Portland, just as it is in every other city in this country. This administration cannot legally do this without the approval of the governor, yet they are doing it anyways. There is no reason for Trump to federalize the National Guard. There is not an insurrection. There is not a bunch of people up in arms. There is not an act of rebellion in the city of Chicago. That is not happening. The president has no authority to federalize the National Guard here. It's not okay. They need to be stopped before they continue to do more damage to this country than they already have. Just as they did in LA, where they federalized the National Guard of California illegally, they are doing the same here. There is no reason for them to do so. Genuinely. In other news, Kristi Noem has blasted the NFL for the pick of Bad Bunny for the Super Bowl halftime show. Kristi Noem has threatened that ICE will be all over the Super Bowl in 2026 and has blasted the NFL's pick for Bad Bunny in the Super Bowl. She claimed that the NFL will not be able to sleep at night because of their choice of Bad Bunny as the halftime performer, even though he's an American citizen. When Noem was asked about the decision, she said, "Well, they suck, and we will win. And God bless us. And we will stand and be proud of ourselves at the end of the day. And they won't be able to sleep at night because they don't know what they believe. and they're so weak, and we will fix it. Essentially, she said a whole lot of nothing. Keep in mind that Bad Bunny is an American just as much as Billy from West Virginia, who voted for Trump. He is an American citizen. He is from Puerto Rico. That is an American territory. And I know Trump the other day said, "Oh, I just talked to the president of Puerto Rico." Trump is the president of Puerto Rico, bro. Like, he is the president of the United States. Therefore, he is the president of Puerto Rico. People are so dumb for caring so much about the halftime show when it is so clear that everyone who does care about the halftime show doesn't care about football in the slightest, which is the point of the Super Bowl. It is about football, not a halftime performance. If you are watching the Super Bowl, you are watching it for football, unless you only care about an artist. I watch the Super Bowl to watch a football game. Genuinely, I don't give a shit about who performs at halftime. I watched it for the football game. Don't care who the halftime performer is. He is going to make the NFL a shit ton of money for doing this. That is the entire point of it. The NFL loves to make money. They love to get clicks. They love to have people talking about them. They love to have millions of dollars come into their thing. They are a business. That is their entire goal, to be profit. It is the entire point. And if somebody is a real NFL fan, a halftime show should not bother you in the slightest. Any real NFL fan should be watching the Super Bowl to watch a football game. You are not watching it if for a halftime show if you are an NFL fan. Plain and simple. Like, I as an NFL fan, I could not care less about who performs the halftime show. It could be Taylor Swift for all I care. Like, I do not give a shit. I am watching football to watch people throw a football and score touchdowns and get into the end zone, maybe get an interception. That is why I watch football. Don't give a shit about the halftime show. And any real NFL fan should agree with that. Go Browns. Hopefully they win tomorrow against the Vikings. I know they're in London, but I'm going to wake up so early to watch that game. Anyways, Kristi Noem has been denied use of public restrooms. The Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem was barred from accessing the Village of Broadview Municipal Building in Illinois to use the bathroom. In a video of the incident, a voice can be heard telling Noem, "No, you cannot," when she and her team asked to use the restroom. In a post on Twitter, Noem was very upset, calling the behavior absolutely shameful. This is a great and proper way to treat any fascists. Places reserve the right to refuse service to anyone. It doesn't matter who they are or where they came from or, what they are. They have that right. That is the right of everywhere. They can refuse service to everyone. I'm glad we're seeing that here. And I hope we see that more for people who, are in the government and in this administration, because this administration is actively preying on families and communities and people who live here. I mean, just the other day, they were ripping children out of bed without clothes on and zip tying them and throwing them into vans, which is fucking disgusting. They do not deserve any support. This is a proper way to treat shitty people who are blatantly fascist. I mean, they are pulling so many things out of the fascist playbook. Great way to treat them. In other news, Trump has announced a hostage exchange between Israel and Hamas. In a new post on True Social, Trump announced an exchange of hostages between Israel and Hamas. In his post, he wrote, "After negotiations, Israel has agreed to the initial withdrawal line, which we have shown to and shared with Hamas. When Hamas confirms, the ceasefire will be immediately effective. The hostages and prisoner exchange will begin, and we will create conditions for the next phase of withdrawal, which will bring us to the end of this 3,000-year catastrophe. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Stay tuned." First of all, free Palestine. I wonder how long this lasts before Israel starts to bomb the shit out of all the innocent people in Gaza once again. Let us not forget about that 80% civilian casualty rate that Israel has. Genocide, plain and simple. As an American, I am strongly against the idea of any religious state, including Israel. All states should have the freedom of religion because this is a human right to choose who you are, to choose what you believe in, to choose what you support. That is a human right. We all have it. Can't really do anything about that. Like, I am actively against a idea of a religious state. That should not be a thing anywhere in the world. Any religious state, I am actively against. And as an American, I also believe that we should free oppressed people because that is literally our history. Our people were oppressed by the English, just as my Irish ancestors were, big Irish, a lot of that. Also, As an American, I am against any and all oppression because I support the idea and the concept of freedom. Something everywhere in the world should have. No one should be oppressed. That is the basis of the United States of America. And as an American, I fully support that. When I say freedom and justice for all, I mean freedom and justice for all. Not just the rich people, not just, the people who got all the money, not just white people. I mean it for everyone. Do not care who you are. If you are somewhere in the world, you deserve freedom. You deserve justice. You deserve to be the individual that you are. You should not have to be oppressed by a government because you believe to support a religion or believe in a religion. That is stupid. You should not be oppressed by a government because you like guys. Like that is so stupid. Genuinely. Like it should not matter. I believe fully 100% without a doubt in freedom and justice for all as an American, just as all Americans should. Anyways, moving on into our other news segment, we have one topic here today as an FBI agent has been fired for refusing to arrest and perp walk James Comey. An FBI agent was relieved of duty for declining to arrange a perp walk for James Comey, the former FBI director, in front of news and media cameras. The FBI refused to comment on the matter, but Comey is due to appear in court on Thursday in Virginia.